It's something every parent would want to know.
Just what does it take to turn your child into a creative thinker? Plug into a new way of learning for children, discover how new technologies and robotics can help. Stay tuned for a playdate with our expert. That's coming up right after the break.
Take a look at this. It looks like fun. It's toys, but he tells us, the man at least we're going to introduce soon, tells us that there is science behind it and it can teach children a whole lot more than just play.
Now, with toy building bricks, tiny computers, gears and motors, our next guest is always busy trying to figure out what will make for a hot toy that will help children think more creatively. Now, he believes that children need to be taught to be creative thinkers to help them face the challenges in this 21st century.
That's right. So we're calling it serious play. Time now for that as we find out from Professor Mitchell Resnick, Director of the Lifelong Kindergarten Group at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, just how to develop a creative child. Very good morning to you, Professor.
It's nice to be here.
So you've spent many years studying, children and their environment. So what can you say about the environment that is most optimal or conducive for their learning?
Well, I think we see it's so important for children to grow up as creative thinkers today, to be ready to come up with innovative solutions for tomorrow's society. And at the root of creative thinking is create. So it's so important to give children the opportunity to create things, to design, create, invent.
So it's not so much about teaching a child how to think, but giving them opportunities for them to discover, to kind of learn on their own. Is that what you're trying to?
I find that too much of education is about trying to deliver information to the child. And we find that's not the way to develop creative thinking. We have to give the children the opportunity to explore, experiment, design, create. And that's the way that they'll be able to start to use their imagination and come up with innovative solutions.
So what do you say? How are we going to help these children self-discover or learn how to create?
Right. Yeah, I think we need to provide them the right types of tools and technologies. Unfortunately, the way a lot of new technologies are entering into children's lives, they just deliver information to children, or children just point and click or browse and chat. We want to use new technologies in a very different way to open up new opportunities for children to design and create with the technology. We want the children to be in control, not the technology to be in control.
And you've brought in toys for us this morning to illustrate that very point. Lego, in fact, a very old-time favorite toys for all of us when we were kids. How does this help?
We've been fortunate to work together with the Lego company for many years. And the traditional Lego brick is one of the great examples of giving children chances to design and build things. I think many people in their childhood built houses and castles with Lego bricks. In the process, they learn a lot about how to make structures in the world, what makes things stand up or fall down. With the new types of interactive Lego bricks that we've been working on, children can make their Lego creations come to life, to move and interact. So here, just this week, Lego is going to be introducing a new robotics kit for younger children called the We Do, where children can not just build houses and castles, but create things that move. So here's one example. But again, it's just one example. Children can take their imagination and come up with anything. So a child might decide they want to make a monkey. They're telling a story about the jungle. And here they make a sculpture that looks like a monkey. Then they can also attach it to the computer. And then on the computer, tell the monkey how to behave. They give rules on the computer. So like they might tell the monkey that's going to beat a drum. So they might click here. They write the rules on the computer to make the monkey's arms move up and down. So they're both learning how to build things, but also learning how to program the computer to give new behaviors. Or maybe they make up a story where one monkey is going to beat on the drums to warn the other monkeys, if there's danger coming. So then they might write rules. Here I put together some graphical blocks on the screen in order to say, if somebody's coming close, beat the drums. So now the monkey is waiting, and if I approach the monkey, it sees there's danger approaching. So the children can put on a sensor that detects if someone's getting close. So whenever I get close, the monkey's doing that. Today's children, they grow up in a world with lots of sensors around them. They walk up to a door, the door opens automatically. When the sun goes down, lights come on automatically.
And they take it for granted.
And they have no understanding how it works. We find when children build things like this, they start to get a better understanding of how the world around them works.
But is it really as simple as it seems? Will they have to understand the computer program that's being used, or is that very basic as well?
So what we're trying to do is to make computer programming as easy as putting Lego bricks together. So on the computer, they just put together graphical blocks, like one block, gives the sense of, turn on the motor for 1 second,
right,
or wait until the sensor is pressed. And you just snap the blocks together, just like Lego bricks. So you build rules the same way you build structures with Lego bricks.
Mm-hmm. Besides, building and perhaps tearing it down, what other things can children pick up? Because how effective can it be in creative thinking, besides the fact that they let their imagination run wild and they create creatures and you incorporate science into it and therefore movement is learnt? What else? How effective is it?
Well, I think it's important to combine together, the imagination, but also systematic thinking. And when you need to put together the structures and the rules, you learn systematic thinking, and you also learn collaborative work. Because in a lot of these projects, there are many different parts, and children will work together. And I think some of the keys to success in the future will be combining creative thinking, systematic thinking, and working collaboratively. So these type of activities are preparing young people for the type of needs they'll be in tomorrow's workplace.
Right.
So you're bringing different disciplines into this one simple toy. But how is that, well, I guess my point is, how is today's environment not as conducive? I mean, we do see Lego in schools, and we do see teachers, encouraging teamwork and play work and role playing. How are all these, how does it fail in comparison to this?
Well, actually, I think if you go into a lot of classrooms today, they spend a lot of time drilling the children, learning specific facts, and and going to learn to prepare for the test in schools. And usually they don't give very much opportunity to let children work on longer term projects, to come up with an idea, to try it out, to experiment. When things go wrong, to do it. Usually it's, we have to learn this lesson, move on to the next. We have to move. I think children need the time to work on projects where they can keep on experimenting when things go wrong, to figure out how to address a problem when it happens, to take advantage of the unexpected. And most schools today don't give children the opportunity to do that.
So what you're saying, that's the missing element, the discovery, exploration, experiment kind of phase, because we want instant gratification. I want to know if I do A, I'm going to get B, instead of waiting to find out if it's D, E, or F.
Exactly. And usually at school they have a list of 100 things that children need to learn.
Yeah.
And I think they don't have enough chance to go more deeply and to experiment and learn that process of experimenting and creating.
Can this be done at home?
Oh, sure. And I think these are things that are intended to be all through the day, whether in school or at home or after school centers. We see a lot of after school clubs and after school community centers where these activities are very popular. I know with some other robotics kits here in Singapore, it's been very popular having the different robotic design contests, sometimes in schools, sometimes after schools. In fact, I visited some schools in Singapore where they do it after school, but they say during the school day we must drill them on the arithmetic exercises. I think it should be in both. It should be in home, after school, and in school. Children need
you're
every
right,
time.
but there's got to be a balance. I mean, there's got to be one aspect where you drill in information, give them information, and they need to take it in. And then there's the other aspect of them exploring physically and creative, thinking is in play.
Well, I think it mixes together more. I think when you're working on a project, you get to see the reason for learning the important math and science ideas. I think too often schools are just trying to teach math and science separately. Children learn it. We found in our research that children learn it so much better when they're motivated to learn the math and science because they're working on a project. So I don't see it's the two separate things, but they can learn it in the process of these types of activities.
It's the same for anyone. I mean, if we enjoy doing something, we're playing with an idea, we learn so much better than if we had to force it down and say, I got to memorize this,
I totally agree. I think the idea of letting children follow their own passions is really important because they're going to learn it better if they really care about it.
Right.
They're willing to work hard. Sometimes people think that children want things to be easy. I don't think that's the case. They're willing to work hard if they care about it. So we have to give them opportunities to care about it. Then they're going to work really hard and learn really well.
Thank you so much, Professor, for coming in this morning.
Great.
Professor Mitchell Resnick, the director of the Lifelong Kindergarten Group at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, on how we can help develop more creative thinking among our children using new technologies and how to perhaps apply them in real life as well.
And he's in Singapore for the International Conference on Teaching and Learning with Technology that kicks off tomorrow. Well, on that note, we're going to take off for a short break, but do stay with us here on Primetime Morning because we're back with a whole lot more. We'll see you in just a bit.